In February 2026, retired Air Force General William McCasland walked away from his home in New Mexico and vanished. He left behind a career in high-level military oversight, having led the Air Force Research Laboratory and its most sensitive directed energy and aerospace programs. McCasland is the latest name on a growing ledger. Between 2021 and 2026, more than 10 American researchers have either died under unusual circumstances or been reported missing. This cohort includes elite minds from MIT, the Los Alamos National Laboratory, and NASA. These physicists and engineers were responsible for mapping out the limits of plasma physics and advanced propulsion. The sheer concentration of these losses has reached the highest levels of government. Congressional committees have opened inquiries, the White House has acknowledged the pattern, and the FBI has launched a coordinated federal investigation to find a common link. Investigating this string of casualties requires the same protocols used at a homicide scene. The search begins with identifying who possesses both the motive and the operational capacity to remove this specific tier of American talent. Within the most classified sectors of the defense industry, the pattern points toward two distinct prime suspects. Suspect 1 is internal, a shadow government entity. This theory suggests that researchers are being eliminated to keep breakthroughs like zero-point energy or anti-gravity from disrupting the global energy paradigm. Suspect 2 is external, a foreign adversary like China or Russia. In this scenario, they are executing an asymmetric brain drain to stall American aerospace dominance before the next generation of flight can be realized. The value of these theories depends entirely on the technology involved. If the science these researchers pursued is viable, it represents a prize worth the risk of a coordinated international operation. Physicists like Ning and Eskridge dedicated their careers to the intersection of rotating superconductors and quantum vacuum fluctuations. They explored whether these effects could be engineered to modulate gravity itself. The underlying physics for this is documented. In 2025, scientists imaged zero-point molecular motion. DARPA researchers demonstrated nanoscale Casimir cavities harvesting electrical output from vacuum fluctuations. But measuring fluctuations isn't building a starship. A device generating fractions of a microwatt cannot replace a traditional energy grid. Scaling this lab-scale physics into a reactionless drive or a free energy reactor runs into the hard limits of thermodynamics. Current peer-reviewed research confirms that extracting net usable energy from the vacuum remains a theoretical impossibility. Without operational warp drives or reactors to protect, the shadow government loses its primary motive. There is no strategic value in suppressing a technology that has not yet been proven to work. The threat from a foreign adversary is grounded in documented espionage history. During the Cold War and into the modern era, removing a single specialist from a rival's weapons program has proven to be an effective tactic. Advanced engineering depends on tacit knowledge, the specialized unwritten expertise held by individual experts. When a materials engineer like Monica Reza disappears, she takes with her the unique understanding of the superalloys required for high-stress rocket engines. Removing an MIT expert like Nuno Loureiro has a similar impact. His absence stalls the development of magnetic reconnection models, potentially delaying a nation's progress in achieving net positive fusion by years. A foreign hit squad focused on a brain drain possesses a logical, strategically sound motive. Crippling the human expertise behind U.S. aerospace would yield an immediate military advantage. If this were a coordinated international operation, the evidence at the individual crime scenes would need to reflect the work of professional operatives. The police files reveal a more mundane reality. Nuno Loureiro was murdered by a jealous former classmate acting out of personal spite, a theory confirmed by the FBI. Carl Grillmer was shot during a carjacking by a relative with a history of trespassing. Monica Reza went missing while hiking on the Angeles Crest Highway, a rugged area where search and rescue efforts are often unsuccessful. The two most famous figures in gravity research also met tragic, human ends. Ning suffered permanent brain damage in a car accident years before her death, and Amy Eskridge's family confirmed her death was a suicide following long-term struggles with chronic pain. Hard forensics from local police departments contradict the profile of a professional hit squad. The circumstances of these deaths are too disparate and the motives too personal to support a theory of coordinated international assassinations. The strings connecting these names on the map are an illusion. The true culprit behind the missing scientists crisis is a psychological phenomenon called apophenia. Apophenia is the human brain's evolutionary drive to find meaningful patterns in random noise. We are biologically predisposed to connect the dots, even when they are entirely unrelated. This group triggered that reflex because of their work. Researchers specializing in nuclear propulsion and vacuum energy work in fields that already exist on the edge of public imagination. Because we know the government maintains secrecy around aerospace technology, our brains substitute the chaos of random, tragic coincidences for the order of a grand conspiracy. Recognizing the lack of a grand plot does not diminish the loss of these researchers. The real threat to American scientific dominance is much simpler. It is the mundane, fragile mortality of the individuals responsible for our most advanced technology. There is no shadow assassin to hunt. We are left only with the reality of human life, a vulnerability shared by everyone,